What's up everyone? I hope you're all having a great day today. And today I would like to talk about something a little bit different that not too many filmmakers talk about, I believe, or I haven't seen any filmmakers talk about it on YouTube yet. And that is the topic of working for a company as a filmmaker. Because what I think we see a lot is a lot of freelancers and a lot of tips on how to be a freelancer, which is great because freelancing gives you a lot of freedom. It gives you creative freedom, it gives you freedom to choose the clients you want to work with. And I think it's the ultimate goal to become a freelancer because you just have so much more freedom. But when you're really starting with filmmaking, maybe you don't have that much knowledge, you don't have that much gear, working for a company might be actually a pretty good option. And I'm talking from my own experience because I bought my first camera about 2.5 years ago. I went to Asia for a year. Basically, I packed everything I had and I went to Asia just to create content. So I worked for some hostels, some hotels, and then I came back to Europe and I actually got an offer to move to Switzerland and to work for a company as an in-house filmmaker, which at that time was really convenient for me because I didn't have too much savings. I was in debt, to be honest, and this was just a great opportunity. So I took the opportunity, me and my girlfriend moved to Switzerland and I started working for a company. And it's been good, it's been 1.5 years now. Now I'm kind of doing 50% for the company and 50% freelancing. But as I said, today I would just like to give you 5 reasons why you might consider working for a company as a filmmaker. So reason number 1 is the network that you can build. Because if you're starting and you coming from a completely different industry than film school or filmmaking, there's a high probability that you don't have a network of filmmakers and you don't have a network of clients. But if you start working for a company, you automatically get into a space which is basically networking, because a lot of deals and a lot of things happening between big companies is networking. And if you can get into that space, and because you will be filming these people, you also get to know them. So you can exchange your business cards, you slowly build a network, and this network, it can be really valuable because once you go freelancing, actually, you can just reach to all these people or all these companies, and most likely, if your work was good, they will remember you and they might have some work for you as well. Plus, the good thing about big companies is that their goal is to be here long term. Companies want to be here in 10, 20, 30 years, which means if you can get into a company as a filmmaker and build that network, you might have as well work for next 30, 20 years. And I mean on a freelance basis, you might be getting work every 2 or 3 months from that company, every 2 or 4 months from that company. And that's a really good thing because you know that you have a clientele that trusts you and that will always get back to you when they need videos. Now, tip number 2 is in a company, you get a stable income. And if you are maybe in a situation as I was, you don't have any savings, you're in debt, a stable income can be a really nice thing. And this company gives it to you. Most likely you won't be making as much as if you were a freelancer because there you can charge higher rates. But then again, it's not just about the money, You're in a company, you get your stable income, and then here basically comes the tip 3 or the benefit number 3, and that's learning. And I don't mean learning just filmmaking, but as well, of course, if you're beginning, you're probably going to be filming a lot of interviews. Now there's a lot of podcasts happening, so you might have to learn how to film a podcast. That's a really useful skill. And definitely a lot of other skills in the filmmaking space. But because you're working in this company environment, you most likely going to learn other skills as well. Working in a team, maybe you're going to manage your own projects. You're going to learn how to network. You're going to learn how to deal with people. And these skills are absolutely essential for when you want to be a freelancer. Another thing that I would say is a part of the learning is that you are working with people that are experienced. You know, you're working with CEOs, you're working with managers, and these people have much more experience in the business field than you or me. So if you listen and you learn from them, you can get a lot of knowledge that will help you in the future. Now, tip number 4 is that the company will have your back. You know, if you work for a company, and if it's a good company, which I hope that you'll get a job in a company that has a good environment and the relationships in the company are good, then the company will have your back. If you fuck up or if you make a mistake, if it's not too often, you know, mistakes happens and everyone knows that. So most likely your manager or someone who's above you will take responsibility for that mistake. If you work for a client, you know, they will take the responsibility, and then they will just deal with you in terms of like maybe a talk, you know, it shouldn't happen again. But you also learn from that, and you learn that making mistakes is natural. You know, it happens in everyday life, it happens in professional life, and having someone who's got your back is extremely important, especially when you're starting and when you might make few mistakes in the process. And the last tip or benefit is the equipment. So maybe if you're starting, or it was at least my case, I only had one camera, maybe 2 lenses, a tripod, a microphone, and that was it. But if you get into a company, companies usually have budgets for these things, and they will happily buy you a new camera, you know, because if you're shooting interviews, maybe you need a 2-camera setup. And then maybe you're gonna be doing podcasts, so they're gonna buy the podcast equipment. So you basically have this opportunity to learn how other equipment works and to test different cameras, different audio setups, and whatever you want. If the company is good, obviously they're probably not gonna buy you a cinema camera, but who knows, maybe they will, right? So yeah, and that's basically it. Super fast video today. These were the 5 benefits that you might consider while working for a company. And I can tell you there's a lot of company jobs online, but I think that this general mindset, as I said in the beginning, of filmmakers is going freelance right away. But if you look into filmmaking jobs online, you will see that there's a lot of companies that want to have their own in-house filmmakers, because everything's happening digital now, and especially with the COVID crisis, you know, people are live streaming, people are recording videos that they can share on their social media. So if you are a beginner filmmaker, you have some knowledge, I definitely recommend you look into filmmaking jobs online and consider this, because for me it was a great experience, and now I'm really set for becoming a full-time freelancer. And that's it for today, guys. I hope that this content will be helpful for you, and if it is, please consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to be kind to each other. See you in the next one. Peace.